The USA state of West Virginia has been overwhelmed by floods. They are caused by prolonged rains in the region. Because of the high water level, people were trapped in their homes and cars. The National Weather Service has issued several warnings of possible danger to half of the state's residents. People are asked to be prepared in case of an emergency evacuation. The city of Huntington has suffered large-scale flooding, as of noon on May 7, 2022, causing severe damage to public and private property, disruption of utilities and a threat to the health and safety of Huntington residents in the disaster area. Deadly rains hit southern Brazil. At least 3 people were killed and tens of thousands displaced after days of heavy rains in southern Brazil caused flooding and landslides in parts of Santa Catarina state. In some parts of the state, more than 300 millimeters of rain fell in 72 hours. According to the state's civil defense, 375 millimeters of rain was recorded in San Martinho and 338 millimeters in Anatópolis during that period. Such values exceed 5 monthly norms of precipitation. The state authorities informed that in the last few days 115 municipalities reported incidents of heavy rains, including floods, landslides, falling trees and collapsed buildings. A total of 44,000 people were affected. Damage to homes displaced nearly 8,000 people. Classes in more than 150 schools were suspended. Several municipalities have declared a state of emergency. Flood warnings are also in effect in areas of the neighboring state of Rio Grande do Sul, where, according to civil defense reports, water levels in the Uruguay and Taquari rivers are approaching dangerous levels. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is now erupting a steady stream of lava after a period of intermittent pulsing. The latest eruption began in September but until recently had been stopping and starting every few days. Now the pulsing nature of the eruption has ended and a steady flow of lava is once again filling the volcano's crater in Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. The flow has been non-stop for more than 2 weeks. Scientists with the U.S. Geological Survey said that while the volcano is ultimately unpredictable, the current activity shows no signs of slowing and some historic eruptions have lasted decades. A severe sandstorm was recorded in the Gulf countries, particularly in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. Weather conditions worsened on Friday evening, with heat and very strong winds that lifted sand and dust to the region. As a result, visibility was reduced to a few meters. Dust and sand also covered buildings and cars and penetrated houses through joints in windows. In addition, the sandstorm provoked a cold snap. For example, in Doha, the capital of Qatar, the temperature dropped sharply to +16 degrees Celsius. Civil and military aviation activity decreased, and the storm led to the cancellation of flights by the Saudi Arabian Air Force. The state of Maharashtra in western India has recorded 25 deaths from heatstroke since late March, the highest number in 5 years. And more deaths are predicted as the nation wears down temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius. Scientists attribute the early onset of intense summer to climate change and say that more than 1 billion people in India and neighboring Pakistan are vulnerable to extreme heat in one way or another. With cool monsoon rains not expected until next month and increasingly frequent power outages in parts of India, even households that can afford air conditioning won't get a break in the next few weeks. Many of the deaths in Maharashtra occurred in the more rural areas of India's richest state. India is the world's second largest wheat producer, but this year's crop may be down after 5 consecutive years of record harvests because of the heat wave. On the morning of May 6, there was an explosion at the Saratoga Hotel in Havana, the capital of Cuba. As a result of the tragedy, 8 people were killed. This was reported in the presidential administration. The explosion was so strong that it destroyed buses and cars near the hotel. The information about the victims is being specified. Preliminarily, there was a gas explosion. Police and firefighter rescuers are conducting a rescue operation in search of survivors. Footage from the scene shows the blown-up facade of at least 3 floors of the ornate white and green stucco building. Clouds of dust and smoke were rising around the wreckage on the ground. It is noted that the hotel, built in the 1930s with 96 rooms, was reopened in 2005 after renovation. Toilet explodes after lightning strikes apartment complex in Oklahoma. A hectic night throughout eastern Oklahoma will be remembered by firefighters for not only performing dozens of water rescues but also seeing the impacts of what a lightning bolt can do to a porcelain toilet. "I've worked at the fire department for 19 years and never seen anything like it," Morrow said, describing the scene of the apartment. Upon his team's entrance into the vacant apartment, firefighters found a smoking exhaust fan in the bathroom and a toilet that was in essence obliterated by the lightning strike. The roof of the building had no damage, but that thing got hit by lightning. "It's weird, and we don't know how," Morrow told. The firefighter believes that somehow the lightning's energy might have transferred through the exhaust fan, which then struck the toilet below and caused parts of it to disintegrate into ashes. Fortunately, the unit was unoccupied at the time, and no one was injured by the strike.